they respect it. They prioritize the techies over the AA there.
Yeah.
That maybe suggests that they would look at a last phase Timber or something like that. Last pick, sorry.
Timber would be great for them. It's probably their best pick, I would imagine. Darkseer's banned. What other heroes would you want to play Rezo against Naga?
Timber or Legion, I'd say, for this one. Timber is really good. They have 2 strength cores. Yeah, they have Doom. Like you have to buy and control a lot of Sorp early on, but then like you can put a lot of pressure against the Naga, and you can always kill her illusions very easily. You can get on top of them easily with the chain.
They'll remove the Necrophos, so Timber's still in the pool.
Yeah.
We'll see what Team Liquid chooses to remove. Probably another support. Is there any kind of flex potential for a Doom 4 or something? Techies 5 or?
Nah, not
like,
too much. I think Disruptor is a very good pick for LGD as well. It's very good against both of the Liquid cores, and Elder Titan was another great option as well.
Yeah, I was looking at the Elder Titan a little bit. Some team fight would be nice for them to play around the Naga. I would be okay with a Mirana too, if they wanted to go that route. Having arrows set up against like the Ember with Sleep could be good. Probably won't do it. I don't think he plays a lot of it. Just his preference at this point. I don't think there's any 1-5 that stands out too much. The Disruptor does make sense, but it is a little annoying versus Ember sometimes.
I mean, if it was Tundra, it would have been a Mirana.
Yeah, sure.
But for LGD, they're looking more of a...
No, they're still gonna go for it. I mean, he has a really big hero pool, but...
That's a good one, Beer.
The hero is really good with Naga and Primal Beast. Makes a lot of sense. These high mobility heroes, they needed more lockdown, I feel. That was reliable, and this kind of helps them out. And whenever I see Naga in play, I do like it when they pick some type of, like, song combo.
5 seconds remaining.
Alright, so that Timber Saw that you spoke of is still in?
I think so, yeah. I mean, Mirana doesn't do anything. Like, their top lane doesn't do anything to Timber at all.
No, it will be that Pudge. Oh, nice.
Pudge. Most likely. Unless they're being real crazy.
Yep, we saw Gaiman run this a few times against Naga as well. So, I guess the question is, do you guys think that LGD's lanes are good enough to get them to the mid lane game? Or does it even matter? They just get outscaled anyway.
I'm not sure.
It's going to be the Zai factor here. Sometimes Zai is the type of player that will just be like, I don't want to be a core and buy Blink Dagger, you know? But I feel like this is not the game for it. He has to have a really good game on this Pudge and scale, because him and Nisha are going to be the answers to Naga this game, which means Zai has to have a good game.
Yeah, I feel like LGD draft is way better this game, but the laning is still the question.
Is the laning good enough for Liquid that they can get a lead and win the game off of that?
I think so. I think so. Yeah, because the Morphin lane is going to be free, Pudge lane is going to be free, and it's Nisha mid who's always going to have a good game, you know. So Liquid is going to come ahead, and if they can close the game, that's 1-0.
I think LGD's draft feels a little slow. I think you have the Clockwerk that presents early problems, as Roman mentioned, for the Primal. And then beyond that, I feel like you're going to have Naga hitting creeps, you're going to have Doom trying to hit his timings. I feel like the game could get a little bit slow for them, and I think that's when Liquid has sort of space to come in and take over the game. So I like Liquid as well.
Oh, maybe Team Liquid has a little bit of the case of bend, don't break for this first game. We'll see what happens, though, together with Cap and SVG.
That's right, welcome everybody to the playoffs of the Bali Major, and we're going to start off with a great series, I think. LGD versus Liquid. Liquid, of course, had their choice of teams, and they chose LGD.
Big mistake.
It might be a big mistake, because this is a squad that they have not beat since the Singapore Major. Yeah. It's been a long time since this org has gotten a win. Sure, they've gotten some ties here or there, but even recently, Avery, they lost at this last TI to LGD in the groups, and they lost most recently at Dream League to this team.
That's exactly what I was referring to. All of those stats are why I said big mistake. Let me tell you something, one does not pick Zhao 8 Zhao 8 picks you.
Well, it looks like Zhao 8 has somehow managed to get into the minds of Team Liquid and get his choice of teams in Team Liquid.
Exactly where he wants to be.
Just where
exactly
he wants to
where
be.
he directed it all to perfection here and got the exact matchup he wanted with an
Yeah, the team that is
overconfident
probably
Liquid.
the second strongest over the year right now. Liquid?
Oh, I thought you meant LGD all the time.
I'm not sure if LGD's there quite yet, but
No, this is a very interesting matchup. I think it is interesting Liquid end up picking LGD, but I think a lot of it is Liquid are very confident they're going to just decimate him in the first 10 minutes. Like, that's got to be part of it, right?
Thank you.
Sure.
I mean, maybe there's some other mental factors. Liquid, talking to these guys, they also tend not to care too much who they play. It's more about what they're doing, and if they're confident in their own strength at the time. Like, I think they would have picked anybody out of
30
that group.
seconds
I
to
don't think
battle.
they really feel any weakness towards any of those teams.
We saw Blitz put out on social media that they were thinking about choosing gaming gladiators. Maybe it's less about who LGD are and maybe more about who their other opponent could have been. The number one de facto team in the world, gaming gladiators. You know, that is a tough choice between the two.
Never easy. And I think that is the one upside of Liquid have going for them here, though. LGD is a very slow early game team. So if you're Liquid and you're going into this matchup, you kind of know you're gonna have your way in the first 10, maybe even 15 minutes. After that, if the game is even, it becomes spooky for Liquid, because I do think LGD are a little bit of a stronger straight 5-on-5 team fight team at the moment. But they're not guaranteed to get to that position, and I think that's where Liquid can just heavily abuse them here. And they went for a pretty fast lineup. Clockwerk, Crystal Maiden. This is like some throwback to the dual roam days almost, but a very fast support duo. You can get a lot of gate action going, a lot of side lane ganks. I would expect Boxy and Zania to combine a lot here in the first 10 minutes if the game is slowing well for them. Give these cores like some ganks, some extra XP, contest the bounty, the wisdom runes, and just pull ahead of LGD, who are more reliant on these little 2 or 3 man combos with the techies and Mirana needing some setup here. Whereas Liquid supports, they're just going to do it all if they get the levels.
Now, if LGD's weakness has been the laning phase, is this not something that Zhao 8, a legendary captain, is going to point out to his team? And is it not something that you can fix this early on? Because it does look like, at least draft-wise, they've gotten themselves some pretty good lane matchups.
I think it is something LGD's aware of, and I slowly see them like fixing it a little bit in their drafts. They also have some of these crutch heroes that they rely on. I think Primal is a huge one for them. I actually think this Primal is extremely important for LG as Zai hooks a creep. In terms of, it's a hero that's very hard to shut down in the early game and will almost always reliably get out of lane and provide you some sort of play options on the map, right? It has overwhelming damage. You can't really negate that damage in the early game unless you're going to really hard pick it on lane with like some Razor. I don't even know if that wins it. So I think this Primal has been a reaction from LG in terms of they've upped the priority on it, because it's a hero for NTS that can help get them through the early game. Like if you're going to pick a hero in the first 10 minutes in Dota that is the strongest in the game, Primal's got to be in the top 3.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this hero kind of goes crazy even before he gets his ultimate, which is pretty unique, I would say, out of a lot of cores. And, I mean, you're talking about a crutch, so it's something that they're very reliant on, but you did just label up a lot of strengths. It does sound to me like you think it is very important for this Primal Beast to be successful, because they are so reliant on it when it comes to, as you said, upping the draft priority on it. They think it's important for probably their early game in the laning phase and such. So it's pretty important for Nothing to Say to not only win his lane here up against Nisha, but also be able to have some big impact in these early rotations, right?
Or at least go even. But yeah, I kind of expect the NTS to control the early tempo of this game. If you can get 1 or 2 ganks off, go even mid, maybe get one of the 6, 8, 10 power runes, then I think you're in an okay place for LG. I also think LGD's side lanes are decent. They're better than they look on paper this game.
I mean, I think they've got 2 of the strongest laning supports, I would say. Techies and Mirana are both pretty
they're strong
in that regard.
They're very strong right clickers. Their spells can be good if you can combine them up. I think the Doom and Naga are a little weak, but Naga Mirana is an old school classic, pretty strong dual lane if you get some Riptides going with the extra right clicks. So I don't think they're necessarily outclassed draft-wise. I just expect Liquid to be a stronger laning team and outplay them here. Shiro has to TP out of top off a hook. He's just getting beat up. Does have a salve though, so trades are going Liquid's way, and it's already going to get reflected in the regen department. This is what LG is going to have to overcome. You can't let these little things build up to a point where suddenly you're feeding away kills, and then these supports get extra experience. That is the biggest thing for me. If LG go like 0-0 in the first 10 minutes, I think they're happy, honestly.
Sure.
And if I'm Liquid, I want to start scoring up some of these extra kills on lane so my clock and maiden get enabled. It's not necessary, but that's like the perfect game here. If Boxy has a 6 to 10 minutes, because then he's just going to counteract the Primal Beast a lot too. Clock was basically Europe's premier answer to this hero at the end of that Primal batch. So,
and it's a hero that's been very successful at this tournament so far.
Yep, one of the highest win rates overall, plus 20 games. It's like 70% plus, I think 76% or something this morning. So, this hero is ridiculously high win rate. I was looking through those games too. A lot of those have been Clock for some of the backline supports. That's the one thing that stuck out to me. Like that Silencer, Skywrath mages, heroes that traditionally don't want to go core staff first and just get soloed by Clock. I think that helps. The laning also might be a little weak for him, but he's generally just looks pretty good. And Boxy already level 3, laying in that level 2 battery. This is where the hero shines in the trades, and he's getting pretty damn good trades out here.
Yeah, he is. He may not have, may not be a great answer to the Mirana, but the techies, this is certainly a hero he could probably feast on a bit.
If you catch him out, for sure. I also think the Clock shines for some of these ranged heroes when it comes to contesting runes. Like we're talking Wisdom runes, or we're also talking the Lotuses. I think Clock is really good at contesting 3 and 6 minute Lotuses, something that's a bit underrated on these side lane matchups.
That's true. He just walks on top of you, and then he can channel on it, and you can't.
So I think that is one of the things you should look for with this hero. And then, you know, the Lotuses are nice for Clock, because hero generally has suffered with mana pool problems on the lane too. So if you get all that going, I think there's a reason this hero is doing pretty well.
Sure.
I don't
Like
think
you
it's
say, getting very low in this mid lane matchup now.
This is a tough matchup. This is not one of the matchups that Primal is super happy playing into. I think Ember definitely takes away with it over the long run, and then you're a mobility hero that is pretty tanky with Flame Guard, though Nisha just went chains here too, so the chain's going to be some extra setup and initiation for Liquid. But it is a 0-0 game.
It is.
For first blood,
and it may even be first blood in the top lane, as Zai is going to be run down here. The Flesh Heap blocking a lot of this damage, but they can just keep on putting it in. And Wyu Smile is going to be the recipient of all that extra gold.
That's that Riptides with the Mirana right clicks, and Vanguard delivered to his corpse, but not in time to save him. Big timing for LG to hit.
Now, meanwhile, Insania was not there in lane, in part because he was looking to be able to gank the Primal Beast, so this may be a fair trade-off in some ways. Yeah, I know it's the big first blood goal. That feels great, but still, the mid matchup, I feel like that is one of the most important kills to get in lane right now.
And shutting down the tempo for LG, which is this Primal Beast.
Right.
And extra XP for the Maiden. That is exactly what Liquid want here, even getting a little Rocket Flare assist action going. This Rocket Flare has been another factor, I think, for the Clock, that people are just skilling it more, skilling it earlier. This spell is pretty high impact in the early game. You get a lot of them off per minute. You can cancel raindrops, you can cancel salves, you can slow down heroes in random fights. The slow is pretty annoying.
Y manages to snatch away the regen rune from Nisha, which with both supports and an Ember Spirit, who's usually pretty good at rune controlling, that was quite nice, I think.
Gonna be some parity on the map right now. As both these side laners have Vanguard, it's gonna keep them in the lane, which means the skirmishes are gonna all go towards mid here.
Ooh.
They were looking for the chain stun.
Yeah, I feel like if nothing to say, could have grabbed him there. That's a kill. You got the Mirana ready to go with the arrow and a blast off from the techies. This pulverize sets up a lot.
Especially when you don't have the Flame Guard.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing here. Nisha is susceptible to dying in this game, especially to arrows or a techie's follow-up. The aggressive potential is a lot stronger, and the chains controlling the primal is going to be good for like counter initiation and stuff, but you cannot let the Ember get gone on. And 7-minute Wisdom Rune. LGD do not want to give this up to Boxy here.
Yeah, Boxy might just get both the Wisdom Rune and a kill. Let's see if he's able to isolate him long enough. I guess nothing to say. Can't just trample on through, and he does manage to grab it. Nothing to say, gets here, and should be able to help get the kill. Boxy's going to go for the deny on the Ancients, but the pulverize and blast off will ensure there is no chance.
The true Goomba pound into the dirt.
Yeah, seriously.
It's probably worth it here. I feel like I'd take that. I think denying it from LGD, pretty valuable. Planet's going to be very low level now. He's going to have to catch up somewhere. Still looking to unblock this big camp, which has just not been on the lane for the entire time. Did get a heartbeat creep up for New, though, so happy about that one. Unlucky he has to lane into Morphling, but you know, what can you do? And the mid clash continues for the 8-minute power run here as Liquid continue to bring their supports. try and deal with the primal.
Getting
That's a lot of
aggressive,
damage.
maybe not realizing the support rotations that are coming in. The arrow's going to slide right on by. Doesn't hit anything there, sadly. And, well, they can at least get a counter kill. Box is going to die. Nisha's going to get a little bit low, but will be fine. And they also take the power rune again, away from Liquid. So denying it from the Ember Spirit, not the worst situation, though nothing to say is going to be a bit sad, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't try and leave that. I mean, you never know. It's possible Liquid don't have vision on that rune, or they assume it was taken, which was actually the case here. And it's such a big rune on Primal. But either way, you're happy to deny it from the Ember. Zania still lurking around mid, will place a ward. I mean, you can see where Liquid's attention's going.
Yeah.
This has been one of the things that I talked about as well, that I think European teams are way more willing to devote resources toward their mid dispatch than a lot of the Chinese and Southeast Asian teams. So LGD meeting them there, but they are falling a little bit far behind as the Pudge eventually is just going to kick Sheer out of top. And they are not winning those mid battles straight up.
And if they had the vision of you sitting behind, then they can go to another side lane confident. But they do get an arrow kill off of that one, trading out with the Mirana, though.
Nisha continues to be untouchable here as, I mean, nothing Test just can't, nothing to say, can't grab him. Too slippery. It's an old grease, the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, seriously. The greased man, Nisha. Finally got their hands on him. The blast off. Oh no, the slight got off just in time. That surely would have been a kill. Look how low Nisha is, but instead Nisha could turn around, pump some damage into nothing to say, ensure that they do manage to get that kill. And now it looks like Planet is going to be traded out for Boxy. So big advantage for Liquid, just slightly off the mark there for LGD in timing.
These mid ganks have not gone nearly as smoothly for them as they did for Liquid. And I mean, like you're saying, the timing, like Nisha can die in these ults. It is very easy for him to go down if any of the arrow or the techie stun lands. But they have not been able to find it once this game. He continues to be too slippery. The stacks going up for Liquid in the triangle as well for Zai to come back and farm, and he is going that Ags on the Pudge to help scale into that Naga Siren. So you're going to have some acceleration here, and it is going to be Midas on you to try and match that. So both these offlaners are just gearing up for the late game. Unsurprising for me that LGD goes this route, because I think they are looking for the later timings with the Naga. And unsurprising that Zai goes it, because, I mean, you pick Pudge to deal with the Naga here, so.
Yeah, I mean, is it even, if Zai does manage to continue this level of farm, let's say, is it even possible for Naga Siren to carry this game against Pudge?
It is.
Like, that's a pretty hard counter, right?
I mean, you can play the fights around the hero.
Go for the kill on bottom lane, more flank, but they immediately dip out as they see the Pudge TPing in, and Zai slightly off the mark there with the hook.
A little bit of a Zai J hook right there.
Bit.
Where'd that spray go, by the way? I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah.
Just fall out of favor? Am I behind on the memes?
Yeah, you're an old man. No,
Oh, it's not me, it's the kids.
it's the kids that are wrong.
Zai overstepped, maybe.
Yeah, I tried to go for the dismember, gets pulverized instead, blast off combo, but he is tanky, man. He is really not putting up with this at all.
God.
Hooks back in, nothing to say, and he will die. New just all inning for Zai, now gets him with the Harpy Lightning, but it's a 1 for 2. Mickey, the recipient of a double kill. That has got to feel good for Liquid, and they're even going to find Planet, though Moonlight Shadow will probably get him away. I doubt these heroes have dust.
Now they're cores, so,
Radiant's
you know,
top
dust
tower
doesn't
is
exist in
under
their
attack.
shop. Base top for Hero, though. He's going to get a tier 1 out of this with Naga. I
Oh,
like
that
that he stayed up here and got some extra map punish. These towers are valuable. A lot of Nagas, maybe you're just AFK jungling, but he actually makes the most of an overextension bottom on top of that Pudge passive. Zai gets it off and makes him pay. Lower ground pound to send Nisha's way, who did end up committing fully for the chains here. 4-4-0. Very interesting. Maybe he just wants to play around his support to set up the Frost Novas, some extra hook shots, whatever it is, and control this Primal more too. I mean, the chains are definitely nice versus the Primal.
Yeah, no doubt. It's definitely more of a focus on the Primal, right? Because if he'd gone maxed out Flame Guard or more levels of Flame Guard, he'd have better options to deal with the Naga Siren, right?
Yes,
Like
it's
better AoE.
Like, the downside of not having Flame Guard is your lane shove is going to be slower, your map pressure is going to be slightly worse, you're dealing with the Naga in a slightly worse manner. The trade-off is your kill threat's way higher at this point in the game, which also points me to, like, okay, Liquid want to play this game pretty fast. They want to start smoking up, ganking heroes, killing them, using Nisha's levels to take net worth away from LGD's bank and put it into their own. And this is not some game where Nisha is going to take high farm priority. probably a wise idea since he has Morphling and an Ag's Pudge to contest with. LG gonna try and go on Zai again.
Yeah, they do have some reinforcements, though. Nisha's going to show up, slight chains onto the two supports. Insania with the damage. They're both going to be super low after this, while Shiro is being dealt with by the Zai Pudge. They cannot bring this man down.
Get all three.
Too big and too fat.
This is not the target you want to be going on if you're LGD. No. This is a last pick Pudge. He's getting his passive off almost no matter what, unless you want to bring Doom to him. I also just don't know if this move is necessary. I mean, they want to fight around the Naga, so the Naga's not getting kicked out of here, but you're just setting up such an easy fight for Liquid because he's not going to go down that fast.
Yeah.
Maybe having that tier 1 down almost overbaited him. Like, all right, maybe Liquid can't get reinforcements here. Maybe it was just unlucky that they were smoked, but hey, one man's luck is another man's skill.
I mean, they also have
read.
This really deep ward on Liquid side of the, being able to see that dire mid-tier 2. Like, they have so much vision to know that they're not in the mid lane. Well, they got to be somewhere else, right? Like, that Primal Beast is looking for kills. He's not farming.
Yeah, and counter-ganking him is exactly what Liquid want to do here. The lineup arrives in that type of situation. 14-minute rune. This looks familiar. 2v1.
He's going to 1v2 and maybe get a kill out of this. Doesn't get the Wisdom rune. Hookshot goes out. Not quite enough damage, though.
I respect that he still tried.
Yeah.
He still tried to outclick 2 heroes on the rune. A very bold move here. But LGD, you're only going to get that once on them.
Look at all the scribbling box he's doing on the map here. A lot around that mid and bottom lane, and even the triangle area.
No, that was just he was making sure his mouse was working.
Ah, okay.
It's like, how did I not click that rune, guys?
Was he also making sure that his, control button is working?
Yeah, see, there was one guy here, there was another guy there. I was in the middle, boys, and I was out clicking them both.
Wow. Lincoln's up for Mickey. That is going to be a slight problem for New. Of course, he has the RB Lightning to constantly be breaking that Lincoln's to try and get Zoom off, but just one more added layer of protection and one more layer that LGD has to fight through in order to get any of these kills.
Why do I say these things? I only realize them after how they come out. Why don't you stop me? Like, why don't you?
Well, I mean, you've already said it. What do you want me to say?
That's not the way you want to word that, my man.
I just wanted to, I just pushed forward. I ignored it. You're the
That's all you do. You just bait me into saying these things, then you just let it sit there. Wow. Like, come on, man. I need some help out here.
I'm just saying, I could have made that worse.
One day, I can't control it. One day I'm going to say something. Might get us both fired. I'm bringing you down with me for sure.
No, you're not.
Oh, I am. It's on you.
I've been through plenty of co-casters, Avery. I'll go through a few more after you're gone.
That is probably true, actually, yeah.
Tier 1 tower going to be taken by Liquid. They seem comfortably in control as they're going to be able to get a chains hook. That's actually a combo we maybe didn't talk about. Comboing up with the supports is nice, but they actually have that chains hook combo.
Yeah, it's very nice here because there's not really any dispel or save for LGD. I mean, what is it really? It's 4 stabs that maybe come in later, or like you block it with a Naga illusion, or just get BKBs up. But this Primal's momentum has really been shut down in this game by the Ember and the Clock. 0 and 5 for NTS, and he was their big tempo setter here. They are decently far behind as Lincoln's Mickey is going to be a problem on the map. Like, you do not have easy ways to go on this morph. I guess you can break it with the Lightning, but the Lightning is a long cast time. That's the problem here.
Yeah, and it gives Mickey more than enough heads up to, as we saw, waveform away. He started morphing strength too.
I mean, Liquid are slowly closing this map, and you look at the jungle areas that LGD controls, it's not a lot. I mean, Y has gone in deep here to try and extract something off the map. Keep this bounce going with his little kobold friend. I guess you have Doom and Midas that can also help out, but damn, it does feel like NTS is just going to fall behind because he did not find any of these early kills, so now this hero does not want to be hitting jungle. Or at least if he's hitting jungle, he kind of wants to be hitting your jungle.
Yeah. They're in Roshan right now, and I wonder if why any chance that he knows this is possible. He'll go through the portal, throw out an arrow.
This is a hard Rosh to read.
Yeah.
Even harder to contest. They're probably looking at Nisha bottom. Again, though,
arrow off the slice, catches him from behind. They can get the Doom on him.
That is just raw skill right there, boys.
Great play by Y. And securing a much-needed kill because, again, that Roshan was being taken down. So Mickey now has an Aegis.
I mean, he was out of control. He didn't have the streak to reflect him, but Nisha was 2-0 and 8 in this game.
Yeah.
Kind of unlucky for LGD, actually, that he didn't KS all these kills.
Yeah,
like
seriously.
Good mid would do. But I guess he's just a better mid.
With Light Shadow, they want to be able to take a 4 versus 5. They know an Aegis on Morphling is kind of whatever. The bigger factor is no Ember Spirit. If they don't have to fight the Ember, LGD very wisely will choose to take any fight they can get.
And BKB up for NTS, so that control is no longer as good as it used to be between the Clock and the Ember anyway.
True.
Pudge damage, not as effective here. And Liquid looking for their own set of defensive items. Boxy will narrowly escape, but damn, what an arrow from Y. I was literally about to say they don't have the setup for the Ember. I guess they don't need the setup for the Ember. You just arrow him.
Yeah, Nisha didn't keep his eyes on a swivel, I guess.
Okay, gonna get a taunt out of NTS, but that is about all. As everybody in this game is kind of just hurtling towards their BKBs here. So we have Zai pushing towards one, Yu pushing towards one, NTS with his up. It'll be a Lincoln's for Nisha, so a lot of defensive items coming out in this game. You're gonna have double Lincoln's BKB for Liquid here. You're gonna have double BKB plus that Manta for Shiro.
Oh, got his BKB just in time, but it may not be good enough. He needs to get away from Zai. Cannot afford that dismember, but he gets grabbed anyway. Couldn't get through the cogs fast enough. That feels very bad. First BKB, and you still die anyway.
Hey, where'd that token come from?
Huh?
There was a tier 3 token.
Tier 3?
Under the Doom. What?
I think you're smoking things.
I saw it was a tier 2 whatever, but maybe you had one of those kobolds or something? I don't even know. Maybe they killed something off a shovel.
It is kind of weird because it's not supposed to spawn.
There are no shovels.
With enemy heroes around, right?
That was very confusing. I almost want to see a replay of that, but whatever. I'll let it go for now.
This is going to be like the coil situation all over again.
No. I saw a neutral token on the ground. I swear I saw one.
Shiro with the smoke. They're going to try and catch Nisha again. They've got an Orchid. Ooh,
yeah, that's that
very
reveal,
nice. Baby. Boxy tries to respond, but the Orchid will last long enough, and Boxy might even die for it too. Unfortunately, Sticky Bomb is a little bit off, and nothing to say. He can't do much against that battery assault when it comes to chasing.
Remember, this is Liquid Aegis time. LGD are doing a nice job of hurting this period with 2 good Ember ganks.
Yeah,
one off an arrow and one off that Orchid reveal from Shiro, which is... It's going to be punishing here on Nisha until he can get to that Lincoln's, and it has been delayed pretty decently here. I kind of like the Orchid this game. It's going to help with these Lincolns and just dealing with the Morphling and the Ember in the fight, but it will fall off at a certain point too, so LGD need to kind of stay active with the item and help bring Shiro into these fights. Another interaction they can do is, like, you can just sleep and then net the Ember out of sleep or something, right?
Sure. Yeah.
At least until he has that Lincoln's, it's pretty much guaranteed. So they can keep bringing Shiro in these plays, and it is pretty scary for Nisha to commit deep in these fights.
Dude, Zai is so farmed.
Yeah, he is big.
McGay. Oh, nice. Creates some clearance for the hook shot. Nothing to say. Can't get out of it. Uses BKB a little bit too late. Now he can't get out of the cogs because he's disarmed during that time. And McGay will be able to finish him off. So finally able to put this Aegis to use. McGay gets on the aggressive.
That was very awkward from NTS.
Yeah, a lot.
I think he should live there.
100%. Man, that was just a plain mismicro of abilities.
Rare misstep from him, but maybe a reaction of this game being... Okay, where is it?
Okay, the kobold, or the little golem dies immediately after the...
Okay, I wasn't imagining things. See? Well, did you see that little golem?
I mean, I'm not sure what you were so confused about, but...
I didn't see the golem, I just saw the token.
All right.
I guess that doesn't reflect well either, but I'm glad we cleared that up. I think all the viewers are very concerned.
Very, absolutely.
Where that neutral token came from.
Everybody was asking in Twitch chat, I just checked. 14-10. Even game net worth wise. Granted, one side does have a Doom. But you said, you know, if things are even going into the mid game, you felt okay about LGD's chances. Is it actually even? I mean, Liquid certainly control way more of the map.
Radiant's bottom
If the Primal had a better game, I think LGD's draft feels a lot better, but now I think they're going to lack damage, and I think Liquid are not going to lack damage. Like, all three of their cores are going to be problems. They're going to be able to deal with some aspect of Naga in the fight. You can get a Morphling Axe later if you really want to, which Mickey is going to third here. So you're going to be able to steal stats away from the Naga, create your own illusions. You're going to have the Pudge going in that's going to rot them all down and maybe be able to hook or find Naga. You have the Ember who's going to be able to deal illusions on the map and the lanes, right? Like, it's not a game that Naga will straight up carry. I think Naga can create confusion in the fight. You can set some stuff up with the Sleep Arrow, which is a nice combo this game, because Liquid, they don't have a save versus the Sleep Arrow.
Well,
And
not
they-
yet. Zai could always get a shard.
That is true, but then you can arrow the Pudge.
That's true. Yeah. I don't know. I can't see it personally. I can't see how Naga deals with a Pudge that is this farmed, plus Morphling turning into the Naga, plus Ember Spirit just throwing around general.
I mean, the Naga won't, right? It comes down to the other LGD cores here.
Yeah.
Like, it comes down to big arrows and connections from playing out of the stun, and then it comes down to the Primal and the Doom going into the late game with like 5 or 6 slots. I think that's when this lineup becomes pretty terrifying.
Okay.
Like, you have AoE Doom, you have this arrow off the sleep that you can't really prevent. The Lincolns don't help you there, and then you just go in with an AoE Doom, some Primal with like 4 slots, breaking people. It becomes very funky. I think that is where LGD can win this game. It's not really the Naga just straight up man fighting Liquid's cores, but for the next like 10 minutes here, it is Liquid's control and how much they can get out of this map and force that next Roach on and D-ward, because they already have a gem up. They have multiple Lincoln spheres, so right now, these Lincolns and BKBs are really good for Liquid.
Yeah, I could see kind of what you're talking about. If PSG LGD can like neutralize one of these dangerous cores at the start of a fight, then maybe Naga can pull through the rest. Hiding the Blink Dagger. Look at Zai.
Wow.
Drops his ring, picks it up. I assume they're going to go for a smoke now.
What a prediction.
Watched a little bit of Dota in my time.
Will it land? They're going to run right into Shiro.
That is maybe just who they want to be able to run into. The song goes off. Great reaction from Shiro. So important that he does not die there, ruining a smoke
That's
gank
huge.
and the Blink Dagger reveal.
I mean, that's like a 2K gold swing.
Yeah.
Literally just right off getting that song, because you're getting so much off the map right now if you're LGD, and that was a 5-man clump for Liquid that, okay, you're going to get some vision control here off the gem, but that's pretty much it. Yeah, now post. That's not too bad. Mickey does get the steal on him through the illusion, however. That Ags is up. So these Morphling Naga illusions are going to start to cut